Good day, Scott. Long time no chat.
Hola, ¿cómo está?
We're back from a short summer hiatus. Good to be back.
Yes.
We are playing. We finished this, May, June, sometime.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah, a couple months ago or so. We actually wrapped up Khamsin, and then my life got a little hectic there for a while. But we're back to do the AAR, so you can relive the triumph of the Brits.
Yeah, whatever.
Foreshadowing.
Did I thought I lost this one, didn't I?
Yeah. Sarcasm.
Oh, okay.
Khamsin, which is a desert storm. Khamsin, which is a desert storm. And there clearly is a desert storm in this. And I didn't know when I read the scenario. I didn't know what it was going to be like until we started playing it, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is different."
Yeah, I mean, when we were looking at it, or decided to play it, and looking at it, and going over the scenario, I'm like, well, this is gonna be different. But it ended up being way different. Yeah.
Yeah, very different. And primarily because of this stupid Khamsin.
Yeah.
You took the Brits. I don't know if you remember why you took the Brits, but you were chomping at the bit. I know why. You just don't like playing Germans.
Yeah, pretty much. It came down. I mean, I looked at it, and my gut told me to take the Germans, but my heart said take the Brits. So
That
I
was
ended
your
up taking
failure.
Well, I kind of knew as soon as I made that decision, when I told you it's like I'll take the Brits. I'm like, oh god, I shouldn't have done that. But
Oh,
well.
yeah. And you left me with the Germans, and I'm like, okay, I'm good with
Yeah,
that.
you were good with that.
Yeah, anytime you leave me the Germans, I'm like, I'll take it. If you leave me with like the Italians or something, I'm like, oof. But yeah, I'm good with it. What's anything stand out on your order of battle?
Um,
Good or bad?
it doesn't. I don't. None of it really looks bad. I mean, on face value, I like the grants, I guess, but
Yeah, yeah. The grants were a thorn in my side, had me paranoid the whole time. Probably more paranoid than I needed to be.
the heavy machine gun.
Yeah,
That's.
yeah.
But as we'll see,
But
yeah,
Khamsin.
yeah.
It's not just the title of the scenario. Let's put it that way. My Germans, we both have ELR4, we both have Santa 2, so there's pretty much no impact there. I don't know if we even had a sniper activation.
I think you had one.
Did
I'm
I?
not. I don't.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I did.
No
Maybe.
result, but
Yeah, it wasn't zero impact, pretty much.
yeah.
I have a bunch of AFEs, Panzer 3s, Panzer 2s, a Martyr, and a bunch of half tracks carrying infantry, and some nice armor leaders. 9-2, 9-1, 8-1. So yeah, it looked pretty good. Panzer 2Fs, they're not too effective. I mean, they have a 4 infantry fire equivalent, kind of crappy armor. Panzer 3Hs are pretty good. My Martyr,
Got the best gun.
yeah, it's got the best gun, but I think it suffers from ammo shortage, if I recall. Maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
Might have been something in the notes, in the vehicle notes.
Well, it's got the circle. That's it. It's got the circle breakdown number. So yeah, it suffers from ammo shortage potential. But yeah, we'll see what happened with the damn Martyr. But let's look at the special rules here.
Uh-huh.
You go through the scenario not knowing much about it. You're like, it's desert. It's in the desert. It might be a little dusty or whatnot. And then you read the rules, and it's like ECs are dry, heavy wind from the southeast at start, heavy dust in effect. Then you start digging more into the DTO rules, which we're still becoming familiar with, and I read the heavy wind rules and the heavy dust rules and them in combination, and I'm like, What?
Yeah, yeah,
And it didn't even. I thought, oh, this is going to be bad. We're not going to see shit, and there's going to be all these modifiers. But it still didn't dawn on me until I actually started moving units
yeah.
around around and seeing when things started happening.
Yeah. I mean, as we'll see. I mean, you can end up being adjacent with point blank fire and still end up with like a plus
What?
5 modifier.
Well, plus, well, depends on the wind direction, but plus
Yeah. I
one
mean,
usually, at least. And there's no FMO any at any time, right? You can just run around. There's no FMO moving in the open modifier.
yeah. I mean, you can get a +1 for range, and if you roll a 6 on the light dust die roll, and
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right.
3, and if
Yeah,
you're
it's
and then
crazy.
if you're firing into the heavy wind,
Hmm.
you get another +1.
Yeah,
So
it
yeah,
was nuts. But you don't see it again until we start moving. And uh, speaking of moving, I'll just speak when we get into the actual game. I'll talk about the initial movement for the Germans. They basically move as a platoon, but it's
hmm,
one gigantic mass of a platoon, not just two or three like you think of platoon movement in the rules. They move as this giant mass all as one until I have line of sight to any British unit, and then they can break off and do whatever they want after that. They're kind of moving in a convoy across the desert.
yeah.
But yeah, on the surface, it looks pretty like a pretty benign scenario until we start playing. So let's get into the some of the action. Let's go over advantages and disadvantages. You can go first.
British advantages, weather. Yeah, I don't. That's goes both ways.
There's a theme
Cuts
here.
pretty cuts pretty deep both ways.
Oh, it
The
cuts very deep.
grants. Yeah, the grants are nice. They don't have the best guns, but they got good armor,
Yeah, yeah,
and they got 2 guns, so that helps. But
yeah. I don't think any of my guns could affect you on a front shot. Really, I had to
the
get like a
martyr.
critical hit. But yeah, except for the martyr. Yeah, yep.
Yeah. Disadvantages: weather, the dust, the wind and the dust. Uh, Setup. Um, yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of terrain. You got to set up in the every unit has to be set up in a sanger,
Yeah.
right? So, and they can't be adjacent, so you're kind of limited on your setup.
Well, yeah, and they set up concealed, and you were given the ability to set up something hidden, right?
Yeah, in
But
scrub.
yeah, maybe you can talk about it in your setup. We had a big beef about this, but you can talk about that in the setup maybe when I show that.
Yeah, yeah. Roar bounce, 76 wins.
Yep.
This is supposed to be a. I mean, it's labeled as a classic DTO scenario. I mean, I can see why, but at the same time, I'm not sure why anybody would really want to play it. I mean, I don't know.
It's definitely different.
It's
Yeah.
different. Yeah.
Yeah. My advantage is weather. You'll notice that weather is in everything here. It's an advantage and disadvantage. It's an advantage to one side because you can move pretty much move with impunity, but it doesn't
Right.
dawn on you until you actually figure it out. Armor leaders got some really nice armor leaders, 9-2 even, and overruns. If there's a scenario, this is the most
Yeah.
overrun friendly scenario I've ever
Mhm.
played, and a scenario where the Germans pretty much have to use overruns
Yeah.
to have an impact, as far as I can tell. You can't play
Well,
this traditionally.
if you didn't use overruns, you'd be stupid. I
You
mean,
couldn't hit shit.
no, you can't. I mean, that's
You
just
can't see
it's the easiest.
anything.
That's all you have to do is just run over the British, and
Yeah,
they can't do anything about it. And yeah,
and run over the Sangers and they're destroyed. Run over the AT gun in a Sanger is destroyed.
yep, yeah,
All they have to do is survive. So overruns are your friend if you're playing the Germans. Disadvantages: weather. Even though I can run around with impunity, I also can't see shit. Same with you,
yeah,
right?
right.
Uh, didn't have a whole lot of infantry to support my tank, so I had to make do with what I had.
I
Balance
don't.
76
Yeah,
wins.
you really didn't need a lot of infantry though.
Not really, no. I mean, I towards the end I used them for some close combat, but that's about it. They didn't really fire on anything and have much of an effect. I think it was close combat because I could just run in adjacent to you and then jump into close combat because you really couldn't shoot at me and affect me
No.
because of the heavy wind and the dust,
Yeah.
or heavy wind and heavy dust. Yeah, okay, that's enough of that. Let's look at your British plans. You can talk about your grief with sangers here and the concealment and hidden and that kind of thing.
Okay. Well, I think we both looked at the series replay from the old
Hmm.
general, right?
Hmm.
And being we're kind of learning new to DTO, and I kind of took a little bit from the British setup in that, but at the same time I modified it a little bit. But my plan was to basically hold on to the hillock, the top hillock. That was going to be like my Alamo, and not real worry too much about the lower two hillocks. Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
that was
because
my main defense.
I had to capture all three hillocks and control at the end. I believe I had to control all the
Yeah.
way at the to the end.
Right. And you could. Well, the other part was I had if you could control all three as long as I didn't have what was it 6 more casualty
Oh,
victory
right,
points
right.
than you did.
Yep.
Otherwise, so, but plan with the armor was just come on board and back up the infantry. I mean, that was my thought. And I took the one honey, the British Stuart, and I was going to do a little end run on you.
We
But yeah,
fondly named that one Stewie.
Stewie. Yeah.
Stewie the Stuart.
Uh, but yeah, the SSR, or it's in the British setup. The British have to, all the sangers have to be occupied.
Hmm.
You have to set up in a sanger, and then they can't be adjacent. And I mean, they're fortification, so they start out hidden. And but once you get
But
within line of sight of them,
right, it didn't matter
like
because even if you didn't hide them, I don't think you hit them at the beginning anyway. But because they were concealment counters, they all had to set up in a sanger. So I knew there'd be a sanger there regardless anyway, because everything had to set up in a sanger. So that
right,
was kind of pointless.
right. And there's enough scrub on there. I think I was able to hit two squads and the AT gun.
Yeah,
But as
I think you had a something there and there,
right,
was it?
yeah,
And then the AT gun
yep,
was where was it? Up here somewhere?
yeah, right where your sniper is, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
where the sniper counter is. Yeah, that's where your
but
AT gun was.
yeah, as we got into playing it, it was like at some point it's like, cause I left the AT gun stayed hidden for a long time, but we got to a certain point in the game where pretty much everything's revealed,
Well, yeah.
right? And if there's
So,
if an empty sanger pops up,
yep,
because you can see it. Well, it doesn't take Einstein to figure out where the
brain
AT
surgeon.
gun is.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It was a weird. I don't think we played it wrong, right?
I don't know.
You have
Yeah,
to set up units have to be in sangers. You're concealed because there's no line of sight at the beginning because there's so much dust. So you set up concealed.
well, I think that was the one part we screwed up. I didn't conceal everything
The first session I think,
the first session. Yeah, we
but
talked about it.
we fixed it, but that didn't really
Yeah,
matter because
no.
I instantly knew where all your units were. I knew where all the sangers were, regardless. And then as soon as a sanger popped in the line of sight, I'm like, oh, there's either a squad or an anti-tank gun there. The,
Hmm.
the hidden part of it made no sense because they weren't hidden because they
Right.
had to start in a stupid fortification, and a
Yeah.
sanger is
So
a
you.
fortification. So
Yeah.
I don't get it. It's kind of strange.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Any more gripes about your setup?
No, not really. I mean, as we'll see. I mean, I don't know. We should, maybe shouldn't talk about this now, but DTO. I mean, I'm a big fan of the Desert War, and but we're just we've only this is our second DTO scenario, and definitely gives you the feel of playing the desert.
Hmm.
I mean, this isn't a typical DTO scenario
No,
because of
not this
the
bad.
dust
No.
storm, but it's just, it transformed the game. I mean, it plays different. There's no terrain hardly. It's just, at least in
No.
this one. And a lot of them it's just flat, no terrain.
Yeah.
So it changes a lot. There's nothing to hide behind.
There was
Strategic routing.
yeah, there was a few situations where we were hull down to one another behind a hillock, but that's about it.
Right. Yeah, that's
There was,
about it.
and a sanger. That was it. Uh, Nowhere to hide, but there's also you could just run anywhere too.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at mine. I didn't have much of a plan. I mean, there it is. Uh, they all have to start as a group. All my Germans have to be adjacent to one another, kind of in a big mass moving across the desert. So where do I start them? Top, middle, bottom. And you can see here over on the lower right, the wind direction is that way from the southeast. So if I came through the top, I figured I might be shooting into the wind a lot.
Yeah.
So I didn't think that was a good idea. So I just chose to come south and kind of loop up through the hillocks and head north to take that last hillock. That was as much of a plan as I had. And I grouped them up. I put my main tanks up front, and I put my infantry in the half tracks behind the tanks to react as soon as a British unit got into my line of sight. That was about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go to kick off the log file. See if we can go through this kind of quickly.
Well, it should breeze right through the first 3 turns because it's just you moving.
Yeah, I'm just moving. I still don't have line of sight.
Well, what was it? Each hex cost you 2 MP,
Yeah,
wasn't
I
it?
think we screwed up the first turn. Someone pointed out that the hexes next to the Hamada, there's like a chance for bog unless you spend extra, and I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So maybe I got
For the half
to.
tracks.
Yes, yeah. For fully tracked, it's okay, but for the half track, so I maybe went a little further than I in the first turn than I would have been able to, but I doubt it had any impact. But yeah, just moving through desert open ground in heavy wind or heavy dust slowed me way down. You can't move very far with
Yeah,
vehicles.
right. And I didn't really anticipate that as much. I mean, you go through the scenario, you look at the rules, and you think you would know, but until you start playing it, I mean, I really should have drove some of my tanks down the board farther, and
Yeah, you kind of set it behind that hillock.
right. But use it. Yeah, I want to use it as a hull down,
Hmm.
but the ranges and the hindrances ended up being so bad that
You couldn't even see each other yet. All
no.
I could see, I think, was that front Sanger. That's why my guys split up. Or maybe I saw Stewie. I can't remember. I was able to see something, and I was able to kind of reposition. And that 9-2 in the back is just a vasl glitch. He got left behind. He gets picked up here.
Oh yeah.
So now I'm just moving into that first hillock with some units. Stewie is making a bold attempt to take out my
I
martyr.
want. Yeah, I wanted to take out your martyr. I
Yeah,
want to try and get behind you, and it just messed with you a little bit. But
he did.
I
I'm like,
almost
what's
did too.
happening?
I almost. Yeah. I think I got a hit on the martyr. I almost got the martyr. You end up bringing in like your another Panzer III
Yeah,
up there, and
I brought a Panzer III with one of the leaders. I think that one had either 9-1 or 9-2 in the one that's moving up there
yeah,
to try to. Oh yeah, we thought you destroyed him, and we forgot about the wind, and the wind
yeah. I ended up,
ended up
yeah,
saving him.
yeah,
But yeah,
shooting into the
Yeah.
The +1 for the heavy wind.
Yeah, I think we put a wind arrow on after that to remind us.
Yeah, but we're already on turn 3. I
Yeah.
think we were both wondering, 8.5 turns. That seems like a long time, but
It slowed down. Once we started firing and figuring out math for line of sight and doing overruns, it slowed down.
well, the game itself took what 6 sessions, I guess, to
I don't know.
to
Should we
play
be,
out.
should we even be admitting that? Ooh, yeah, it was kind of a
Well,
slog.
it took so long. Just you had so much. You had a lot to move, and I wasn't really doing anything. But for you to formulate and move everything took a while.
Oh, I see. You're blaming me. No, I'll take it. There's a lot
We
of
didn't play
vehicles.
real. Yeah, I love it. We didn't really play. Each session was probably only like an hour and a half, 2 hours, I
Probably a
think.
couple hours. We didn't play
Yeah.
like huge chunks. Just kind of
No.
nibbled away at it. Yeah. So now we're on turn 3. I think after turn 3 and when I actually starting to fire at you, I'm like, why am I being so conservative?
Yeah.
I should have not stopped, I should have just driven as far as possible every turn because even if I get adjacent to you, it's very difficult to get an effect. The chance of having some kind of effect
Yeah.
is small. So if
It's really
you're,
small.
it's really small. So if you're playing this scenario and you're the Germans, just rush into the British, right into their
Well,
face.
I mean, you can get a lucky die roll, right?
Yeah,
But chances are, yeah, we were even both of us knowing what the hindrances were going to be. I think we still were playing it more like a regular scenario, kind
we
of being
were. Yeah,
cautious.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just mobilized Stewie there. I think
Oh yeah, poor
he's
Stewie.
he's stuck.
Got his legs out from under him.
Oh, then he got smoked by the martyr or the other guy. I can't remember. Got lit up. Poor Stu. Valiant attempt. You almost got it. The
No.
wind saved my butt.
Yeah, you just did your first overrun there, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and another one.
Second one. Yeah.
Yeah. When I got to about that line, it started dawning on me. I just need to get right. It's got to be some close action going on here. I started doing overruns.
Well, I mean, like I had what, 2 anti-tank rifles or one, but 2 and but which I thought, well, okay, he'll
Might
try
get
to run by
lucky.
me.
Yeah,
I might get, but no, no. I mean, by the time you figured the dust modifiers and then moving and target size, and it's like, yeah, you can't hit crap. Even it's crazy.
I think something happened right there that we fixed. I can't remember. I backed something up because something happened. That Panzer E. I'm dumping off my infantry and bugging out with the half tracks. Half tracks were victory points, and I didn't want them. I mean, they're pretty
Easy
vulnerable,
kills, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
to anything almost. So I just dumped off my infantry and started bugging out. I could have used the anti-aircraft machine gun, or maybe to prevent routing, but I just bugged them out. Oh yeah, there's a guy there, kind of in the center right. Took a shot, but again, it's adjacent, and there was no effect.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you almost have control of the 2 lower hillocks,
Right.
which, I mean, didn't really surprise me. I didn't try to defend them hard,
Oh, there's
but
your anti-tank gun. I think he chose to fire it at that point, but I pretty much knew there it was there at that point.
yeah, and I mean, that thing has a rate of fire of 3, so, I was thinking,
Sorry,
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
I got this.
scarfing at me, but I think I fired it, I don't know how many times. I think I got rate of fire once,
Yeah, it didn't do shit.
and then yeah, and then it's a 40L, so if it's a frontal shot against your armor, most of
Against
them, the
6 armor, I don't remember what you would need.
yeah, wasn't much. It wasn't good.
But with multiple rate of fire,
You would think.
you
Yeah.
increase your number of shots, so it increases your odds, but you didn't get the shots.
I can't remember now. I may have immobilized something with it.
I think that may
Uh,
come later. I remember I had at least one immobilization somewhere.
but it didn't. It didn't have a. I was thinking, yeah, if it went on a rate tear and I got a bunch of shots on you, maybe take out 2 or 3 tanks, but no.
I pretty much got two of the summits now. It
Yeah.
looks like your 40L's making an end run.
Yeah, one of my Crusaders.
Yeah.
I'm like, screw this. I'm gonna go run down here and yeah,
Still,
my
still
armor.
miss.
Yeah, but at this point, I think I'm realizing it's like, there's no reason to just sit here. I need to do something with this armor, and so start
Yeah,
moving.
the German wave is coming for the last hillock.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't. This this easily was not one of my better scenarios. I mean, and I'm sure I didn't play it correctly, but it's a tough scenario.
He took out. I don't know if that was a half. I think it was an AFE down below mine.
Yeah, lucky shot.
You're keeping up with victory points. Casualty victory points pretty good for a while, and then at the end it just fell apart.
Yeah, there was a point where I got some lucky shots on you, and I took. I think I ended up killing what, 3, 4
Yeah, you killed a
tanks,
few
5 tanks.
of my tanks. And they're worth 7 each, I think, with crew.
But then at one point, like my luck went away. Then you got lucky, and then you ended up slowly taking my tanks out one by one, and then yeah, like you say, it just started this spiral
Snowballing.
for me.
Yeah, my real worry was your damn grants.
Yeah, I probably should have been more aggressive with the grants. I think that'd probably be one key to for the British in this scenario.
And the grants, the 75, is that bow mounted?
Yeah,
Yeah, so you
yeah,
couldn't fire when you were behind a hillock.
right. Yeah, that was probably a screw up on my part too.
Yeah, I think well, the other one's up top. You moved it on top of the hillock up here. Here's one grant up here. You moved it over the hillock. This guy's still chilling behind the hillock.
Yeah. Well, I mean, part of my original plan was to use the armor to support the infantry, and eventually move up on top of that last hillock. But even then, even when if you're at a 2, 3, 4 hex range, you just can't hit anything.
No, no.
You basically need to be running around, driving right up behind everything, and just shooting them in the ass, trying to. I mean,
Unless you get lucky, get
yeah,
acquisition somehow and get lucky. Oh, you
yeah,
mouthed your weapon down below.
yeah. That was a treat. That was special.
I love it.
I
That was a treat.
I thought that, I flamed the one tank. And I thought, cool, I'll get a couple more. No,
Yeah, yeah.
cars.
That's what I thought
Yeah.
too. I thought that the what is that, a Panzer III I had down here?
Hmm.
Because I'm kind of my bottom is exposed. My bottom flank or whatever you would call it is
Yeah.
exposed at that point. I've got that Panzer III, and I think I have a squad sitting in there. Come on, highlight it. Yeah, I have a squad sitting in there, and then I have a bunch of half tracks bugging out. My fear was, okay, you're gonna smoke this Panzer III, then you're
Hmm.
gonna go hunt down a bunch of half tracks and build up a bunch of victory points, or park in the, take out this squad and park in that Sanger hex.
Hmm.
And then I have to come back and capture. That was my biggest fear, that you would take a tank and drive it up into, these summits and just sit there, and I would have to destroy you. You just sit there till the end and hope you make it.
Well, Luckily for you, I never really thought of that. So
Yeah, I don't think I vocalized that fear until the end because I didn't want to give you ideas.
yeah.
Oh, you
Well,
just
I
broke
mean,
your gun. Anti-tank gun broke.
oh yeah, I broke that one too.
But I
Yeah.
think you repaired
Well,
it.
I repaired it in the next rally phase, but it still didn't.
Yeah. Then I think I overran it.
Then you overran it.
Oh yeah, and your tank got recalled. You
Well, what happened then
permanently.
was you.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
recall. Oh well, you did overrun the anti-tank gun, but
Yeah.
the crew survived, and then it wasn't until the next session or the next turn or whatever we talked about it. Well, the gun should have been destroyed,
Oh, right.
even if
Right.
the crew survived. So
Yeah. Yeah. All you have to do is overrun a gun in a Sanger. If you survive, it's destroyed. There's no rolling. There's nothing. It's just gone.
no,
It's
it's
kind of
just
brutal.
crazy.
Yeah, you permanently mouthed your gun down below, and he's recalled. So I hunted him down here.
Yeah.
But 50 Panzer III down there was cowering. Now he's hunting. How do you feel about the mortars you had? Were they pretty effective?
Oh, God, seriously?
You're like, seriously, bro?
No,
Minimum range
yeah.
of minimum range of 2.
Well, I can't remember now. I think they have smoke, right? But you can't use smoke.
Uh, can't remember if the British have smoke, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You can't use smoke and with the heavy winds. So
Yeah, they have smoke, but it doesn't
yeah,
matter. You can't
doesn't
use
matter.
it.
You can't use it.
Right.
So you're looking at a 2. I mean, firing a 2 firepower mortar, unless you get the -1 for woods or something. Otherwise,
It's good luck. Well, first you have to get a freaking hit
well, yeah, you gotta get a
first,
hit. I don't know.
and you're
Yeah,
shooting at things that are two hexes and beyond. So
yeah, I don't
area
know. I mean,
target type. Good luck.
I don't know. I could easily be missing something with this scenario. I
I
don't
don't
know.
think so. I mean, we read the heavy wind, heavy dust, which also has light dust on top of that too. We read it all, and the diral modifiers are just brutal unless you're face to face.
Well, I think we missed it just there, but you you jumped into close combat with that lower Sanger there on the upper hillock, but we ended up in melee. Well, I ended up running in my turn I ran 2 squads and a leader over there. Jumped in and then I won the close combat, but then what happened? You ended up breaking everybody and took them prisoner somehow. I don't.
This where was it? Here
Yeah,
or here? I can't
to the
remember.
right.
Yeah, I took
Yeah.
a bunch of prisoners somewhere. Well, yeah, I didn't. I just overran or I'm in the process of overrunning, and you
Well, I think
intensified.
I think I killed your best leader,
Yeah,
and I was feeling pretty good about it. And maybe it hasn't happened yet. I
maybe
don't
this
know.
is it.
Yeah, this must be coming up here. But it's just that's kind of way a lot of these scenarios go. It's just so back and forth. It's just crazy.
There, I abandoned that lower Sanger. It's wide open at this point. But yeah, I ended up taking a bunch of prisoners. I usually don't, but because there's a you know desert victory point versus casualty victory point here, I have to have a buffer. I took them all prisoner, lugged them around.
But yeah, I mean the fighting's getting in pretty close now, and it's like, okay, now shit's really gonna hit the fan. Well, not really, because you got the dust hindrances are so bad that you can be firing point blank, and
Hmm.
unless you get a lucky roll, forget about it.
It's this tower of power I got here. Oof, look at that. I don't think I fired my ATR once.
Nah, why? Can't hit anything.
No. And might be able to use it for deliberate mobilization, but adding another +5 on top of heavy dust and light dust hindrances,
Yeah,
no, it's not going to hit anything. No, I didn't fire it once.
I think he killed one of that Grant,
Yeah, I think or is this the Grant?
the lower. Well, that's one, but the other
Oh
one's the
yeah,
one below it.
yeah, I got
Killed
this
that
one.
one.
Yeah, I think I got a lucky.
You had a low roll. Yeah.
Oh, I got a critical hit. Yeah, right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. I don't think we rolled a sniper for that. I don't think you rolled a sniper. Oh, maybe you did. No, that was me. Yeah, I think you missed the sniper on that. Not that it would have probably done anything.
Nah.
Yeah, it's coming to the end. I'm overrunning. I'm jumping in close and getting into close combat, taking prisoners.
Well, yeah. There's the melee, right? And I think I run.
I think you run these guys down. You still have your 9-1 heavy in the squad there on the summit. On turn 6. We're at 36 minutes. Got to speed this up. Go, go, faster. Broke your
Yeah.
mortar. Boom.
I got my 8-0 leader and another squad. They're gonna jump in the melee.
Oh, you broke this entire stack here. I forget. I just rolled like garbage and they had to bail out. I was like, get ready to go in for the kill. Yeah. I was trying to figure out how to route them. They were close to being eliminated. Oh, I've mouthed my main armament down below. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's
Yeah,
these snake guys.
rally. Oh yeah, there's a lot of action here. Phew, look at that.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I killed your 9-2
yeah.
and a
And these guys
couple
had to
squads,
bail. Yeah, and then I overran those guys.
and you killed them all. Yeah.
I think I'm moving in on the trying to position for the your other Grant somehow. All right, overran the
Well,
summit hex. I think
I
I'm
took out what 4 of your tanks up on top. Took out your martyr,
yeah.
got a blaze, 2 other dead ones, but
My martyr, I don't believe it did shit. I don't think it might have fired once. It got no result. It got taken out.
I think we're right down at the end now. Getting
Yeah,
close.
I'm overrunning the summit. Pinned. We're turn 7. I forget when this ended.
Oh, it's pretty
I
close.
think you threw in the
My turn. When we
towel.
get to the next turn, when we get to my turn, I didn't have much left at this point.
Close combat. Ooh, I rolled a 10. You rolled a 4. I think you got something, but I don't remember what it was. I think I'm just firing. Oh, you're moving your Grant in.
Yeah, this is pretty much the end. I was hoping this was, I don't know. At this point, I just wanted it to be over. I didn't really put a lot of thought into this.
You're YOLOing at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I could get a point blank shot on a couple of your tanks there, one on the hillock, and maybe somehow hold on to the hillock because we're just about out of time. But like we talked about later, I probably would have been smarter to run down and try and recapture
Oh,
one of the
right.
other hillocks.
Yeah, we talked about this one here with the Grant.
Mm-hmm.
Because your Grant was up here, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you would have just went up there and squatted, I would have had to scramble to try to take him out. And I don't think I've officially captured this. Oh yeah, I did capture that summit. So yeah, I've captured all 3 summits at this point. I think I close combated your Grant and
Grant.
immobilized it. I think that's what happened.
Yeah. At that point, there was, yeah.
Yeah, I think I rolled a 3 on the close combat and immobilized it.
Yeah, I don't know. I threw in the towel
Yeah,
here pretty quick.
that was it. And then I added up the prisoner victory points, and that's where I had the 3 Helix and 14 more casual or desert victory points. Yeah, that was it.
Well, like you said, like earlier, it was the VPs were pretty close, and it was kind of touch and go. But then towards the end, it just disintegrated.
Yeah, fell apart. Yeah, a bunch of prisoners. I think your only hope would have been trying to get this
Right. Yeah.
with the
No,
grant.
that would have. I should have. Yeah. I wasn't.
And I moved
But
this.
that.
I think I moved this guy over towards the end to try to prevent you doing that, but that might have been your only hope at the end.
Well, I guess I didn't think I could get away with it. Really. I don't know. You seemed more worried about it than I did. I mean, as far as I guess maybe maybe thought about it, but it's like, well, he'll never survive. But like you said, you may have had a hard time getting over there to take him out. So I don't know. But
Yeah, because I mean, it's so slow moving, and then to actually get a shot at you, I have to like move in close, either from behind, which would take more movement points, or go up the hillock, which would take a little bit more to get close. Because if I'm firing at you from 5 hexes away, I'm probably not going to hit you anyway. I'd
no.
have to get in close, and you would have 2 guns, right? You could smoke me if I got in close. So I'm glad you didn't do it because it might have gone badly for me. Because
Yeah.
I think all I had was 3 Panzer IIIs. These little Panzer ones or whatever they are with the 20L couldn't do shit.
Panther twos. Yeah.
Panzer II, they couldn't do anything against a Grant. It would have had to have been one of these Panzer IIIs that I had left.
Oh yeah. Well, it was a good game. It's God, it's just so different. But yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean DTO is different in general, but the weather and environmental conditions made it just you know bizarrely different for
Mm-hmm.
tactically. It just you're playing normal scenarios, DTO or European theater or whatever, and you're like, I can see those guys 8 hexes away. I'm gonna fire. Now in this, it's like I can't. I think there's something over there, and if I fire, I'm not hitting it. I got to get closer. And if you
Yeah.
think you're close, you're not close enough unless you're adjacent to them, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, it's I know it's a really balanced scenario, right? And I don't know. I mean, I must be missing something, and I probably didn't play it right. But it just seems like the British need a little bit of luck.
Yeah, maybe,
Uh,
maybe I don't know. Maybe you have to bring your armor out more aggressively in front of your
yeah.
infantry to block the tanks at least from overruns, because
Right, because yeah, the overall
that's
like
what killed
within
you.
in our game, you just overrun
Yeah,
everything.
overrun, because it's the most effective way in this scenario, at least.
Oh, it's easy.
Dice, dice pot. Uh, I had overall 6.9. We rolled about the same number, 142, 159. I had 6.9 average. You had 7.3. The only thing that stands out, we looked at this earlier, is the 12s we rolled over here.
Yeah.
You rolled about twice as many 12s as you should, and I rolled about half as many 12s as
Yeah.
I
I
should
mean,
have.
well, you look at the right side of the graph. I mean, I rolled more 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12s than you did. And then you look at the left side, you rolled more 5,
Threes,
4, 3
three
twos. Yeah.
fours, twos are about the same. Yeah, I rolled more 3, 4, a little bit more fives, but yeah, that's the average where it came out.
Well, your dice got really hot at the end.
Yeah, you can see
Very
it
when
dropping
you
the moving average, going down, down, down. I
yeah,
don't know
which
what.
didn't help me at all in the end there.
I don't know what turn. Usually there's some kind of turn things down here. I don't know what turn this is, but it's near the end somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I didn't feel like I outdiced you, but I did have, I think, some better dice. But I don't think I like
No,
totally outdiced
wasn't
you.
wasn't that bad.
No. We're at 45 minutes. I always say we got to keep it less than 45 minutes, and hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Lot to talk about in this
Yeah.
one, but yeah,
So
good
what do you
bit on
think?
it.
What do you think of DTO? We're gonna take a little break from it.
I think so. Yeah. After 2 scenarios,
Two, and we're tapping out. We're out, man.
tapping out.
I mean,
Ah,
it's kind of fun, but I mean, some people love it. But there's a, from that poll I ran a few months ago, what's your favorite theater? DTO was dead nails last. It wasn't even close. Yes, people either
yeah.
love it or they don't care for it or they don't even try it. And we didn't try it for decades, and we're finally trying it, and I'm like, it's okay. If someone came to me and laid out, three scenarios and said, "Do you want to play ETO, PTO, or DTO?" DTO would not even be in the pick. It would be one of the other two.
Yeah. I don't like I've said before. I love the history of the Desert War. I like reading a lot of books about it, but playing it in ASL, I don't know. I'm not sold yet, but I don't want to give up. I don't want to
No,
give up on it.
no.
We'll come back
Well,
to it at some
yeah,
point, but
yeah. I mean, the rules are. I mean,
yeah.
I think I got Hilux down. I mean, they're just a little more complicated walls, essentially. Um, but some of the weather stuff, like the heavy dust and the wind direction and heavy wind and stuff, that took a while for my brain to lock in to see how it would actually impact the scenario as we played it.
Yeah, well, especially this one. This one was
Yeah,
nuts, but yeah.
yeah.
It definitely feels different. The rules, like, yeah, I'm playing the DTO rules aren't that big a chunk, so
No, it's just you.
and it
Go ahead.
you don't use them all anyway.
No.
It just depends on the scenario,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah,
So
pretty situational, but yeah, we'll swing back around to DTO sometime. But I think we're gonna head back to ETO or PTO next. I don't know what that.
PTO.
I don't know. I guess we're doing PTO. Scott says.
Yeah.
I was gonna say maybe
Banzai.
Twilight of the Reich. The boards are available. I think they became available early summer, June sometime. They're available. I was thinking maybe
Well, I
Twilight of
think
the Reich.
I mentioned that to you before the hiatus, but you were like, you said something about city fighting and poo poo and all
Oh,
the
I
stone
didn't.
building.
Maybe I didn't think the boards were available. I think I said it, I didn't think they were available. No, I'm not opposed to Twilight of the Reich
Yeah.
or PTO or something from the new action pack, which is PTO, Rose to Rangoon.
I was thinking that too. I don't. There's two with old boards, but I'm not sure if the new boards are in vasl yet.
Oh,
So
that's right. Yep. I don't think they are. You're right.
to the bridge, we could find something to the bridge, which is the
Hmm.
I don't know.
The predecessor, part one
We'll
kind of
figure it
thing.
out.
Yeah. But yeah, next scenario will not be DTO. It'll be something else. All right, Scott.
Fork it
You know what Arnold says?
to the chopper.
Get to the chopper!
Get to the chopper!
If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like what you saw, thanks for watching and let me know how I can do better. See you in the next video.